Welcome back to the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League, and we're all set for the Alpine Sg Pipers and the PBG Alaskan Knights to do the battle. It's a big one coming up for these two teams, and we want you to get involved. We want to hear from you. So we've got a big poll running on. Can the Alpine Sg Pipers bring an end to the mighty PBG Alaskan Knights' 100% win record today? Get on the poll, cast your votes on fans.globalchessleague.com. And we are ready to welcome the teams. It's over to Katie, who's on the floor.
Tanya, the players are queued in the line and they are ready to walk out. And please welcome Alpine Sg Pipers and PBG Alaskan Knights. And here we have on the icon board Anish Giri, Nodirbek Abdusattorov. And we have Anish Giri, Nodirbek Abdusattorov, Shahir Mamediarov, Tanjongi, Alina Kashlinskaya, and Nihal Sarin. In the Alpine Sg Pipers, we have on the icon board Magnus Carlsen, Pragnananda, Richard Rapport, Ho Yufan, Katerina Lagno, and Daniel Dardha. Right, I think we shall start, so players can take a seat.
The players are getting locked in, ready to go on the icon board. It's Magnus Carlsen versus Anish Giri, and we head to our commentators to call the action. It's David Howell and Sagar Shah.
Thank you, Tanya. What a match we have on our hands here, David. This is going to be an epic encounter between Anish Giri and Magnus Carlsen on the icon board.
Wow, Sagar, it's great to be here, and what a bonus. We're going to see a real clash between these two big rivals. A lot of honor at stake, leading their teams. I can't wait.
Yeah, and we already have a poll here, and that's the question on my mind, David. I'm going to ask you, can the Alpine Sg Pipers stop the Alaskan Knights from what they're doing?
It's not going to be easy, but if anyone can, this team can. Magnus, though, might need to step up for his team. A win with black is always difficult when you face a world-class opponent. Having black means that you just react. If Giri wants to shut this game down and make a draw, he might be able to. But on paper, very balanced teams, two giants.
Right, D4 played by Anish. That already shows that, you know, maybe he's not angling for a draw, yeah? Like, if he could have gone E4.
That's right, not known as the most drawish move. We should remind everyone, Anish Giri throughout this event has clearly had a strategy of just trying to neutralize the other icons. And here we see the Catalan opening.
Plays Magnus's opening against him. I mean, Anish has played the Catalan many times, but Magnus has played this very opening with this little pawn push at the highest level at the World Championship match.
That's right. Magnus loves playing this from the white side, so already mind games at play. Psychology, using your opponent's favorite weapon against them. That is, I think, very wise from Anish Giri as he looks away. A bit of a frown, then a smile there as he was looking at the other boards, and Magnus reacts in the most solid manner. Look at the center. It's really tense. Magnus he makes what we call the triangle, the pyramid of pawns here. Rock solid for black.
Right, he's just trying to keep as many pieces on the board as possible so that the game can go on for a long duration, and then, David, he can take a call. Okay, is draw good for my team or not? I'll see that.
Exactly. I think for the most experienced team players, that is what to do. Just keep the game alive, make sure you don't take too much risk, and you always have to be ready to take kind of a decision later, change the pace depending on how your teammates are doing. Anish develops his bishop out. Maybe not the most common move in that position. I've played this many times from both sides. Usually a white rook slides to the center or a white knight comes out. But yeah, Anish developing his bishop, and Magnus pauses. I'm expecting the black light squared bishop to take 1 or 2 steps forward. But Magnus, he's in decent shape as we get ready for boards 3 and 4 to begin.
Yes, we have Shakhriyar Mamediarov taking on Richard Rapport, and on the women's board, a big clash it's actually Ho Yifan versus Tan Zhongyi. What a matchup that is.
Wow.
I'm very excited for it.
Saga, I can't wait. Two former women's world champions facing off against each other. Two of the classiest players at the top of women's chess. And we again see a queen's pawn opening. The queen's gambit was offered and declined. And now we see possibly the positions start to head into similar waters that we saw between Giri and Carlsen. No, as we see Tan Zhongyi, who likes to avoid big opening battles. She likes to take the game into fresh waters as early as possible often, and she pushes her king's pawn forward, blocking the white dark square bishop, but opening up the light square bishop.
Right, and Tan Zhongyi has been in tremendous form, not just in this event, but in general. She's won the candidate. She's going to play for the World Championship crown, while Ho Yifan clearly is the strongest female player on the planet right now, but she doesn't play so much anymore. So who's going to win here, David? Is it like the form that will, come out on top, or is it Ho Yifan's permanent class that would show here?
Yeah, it's like seeing two boxers, for example. One who's fighting in the ring every single day, another one who just retired, but comes back once or twice for a fun little fight. And yeah, it's that freshness, that match sharpness against the permanent class of Ho Yifan. Yeah, with black Ho Yifan, I think she wouldn't be too averse to a draw.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, early days, it's yet to see which player is able to exert their influence on these early phases. But Tan Zhongyi, as you said, so sharp, tactically phenomenal. And we'll check back on this one a bit later.
Right, and there we have boards 5 and 6 about to begin. This one, Alina Kashlinskaya in good form for the PBG Alaskan Knights, and Katrina Lagno, although very strong, hasn't yet got off to a good start.
Yeah, Saga, it feels like Kashlinskaya here might start as the slight favourite. There we go, game board 5 has begun. Another queen's pawn opening, and Nihal Sarin. Can anyone defeat him? Can anyone stop him, Saga? You know him so well. He is sparkling right now.
Yeah, and he's never played against Daniel Dardha. This is their first encounter, so it's going to be exciting. Yesterday, Daniel did beat Ronak Sadhwani, so he's already got the better of one Indian youngster. Will he get the better of Nihal Sarin?
Ooh, he won that game with the black pieces as well. So Daniel Dardha, confident after yesterday, but still the underdog here, as he reacts by pushing a side pawn forward. A bit rare, but black's light squared bishop aims to fianchetto, as we call it, on the longest possible diagonal. So, yeah, early days. Nihal is the first to pause, to think here. He has a variety of setups, a variety of ways to continue this game, but just formulating a long-term plan. Let's go back to those icons, though. This game has moved quite quickly into the middle phase now.
And David, you need to explain to us these little things that have happened here. Anish has given up that bishop which was there on this square and doubled his pawns. You can see that white has 2 pawns on the same file. These are doubled pawns. And black, on the other hand, also has the bishop pair. He has the 2 bishops. So why did Anish do this?
Yeah, it's committal. It's like you said there, Saga. In chess, you can never have anything your own way. You have to give in order to get. It's often a clash of strategies here. White is very much going for the center. It's all about the 4 central squares. White has 2 pawns now, kind of controlling the dark squares with his pieces. With the white knights perfectly centralized, you control extra. That kind of complex in the middle. The white light square bishop as well. Great piece. Like you said, black's advantage of the dark square, the bishop pair is very long term. So Magnus, the longer the game goes on, the more confident he'll be. Short term, white's pieces are better poised, and the double pawn's not really a factor because white's king has sufficient defending pieces around it. Personally, I prefer the bishop pair, Saga, but it is a matter of taste here. It's a real kind of trade-off, and we'll see whose strategy is rewarded a bit later.
Yeah, and look at the time right now. It's Magnus has 15 minutes, 30 seconds, while Anish has more than 18 minutes on the clock. That's an edge of 3 minutes. And look at Anish there. He's like, what? What is this move? He's very surprised there.
Yeah, visible there on his body language, Anish Giri. He looks really confident, but wow, look at all the white pawns. They're literally all on dark squares right now. That is great strategy for anyone at home. If one of your bishops is traded off, here white's dark squared bishop has departed from the board. control that color complex with your pawns. Those pawns perfectly complement the white light squared bishop, which will control some squares later.
Right, so this one is definitely looking very interesting with a lot of imbalances. I think Anish is happy with his position, and Magnus also should be very pleased, because what he wanted is a big fight. What he wanted was a complex position with a lot of possibilities that does not peter out into equality, and that is what he has got.
Yeah, it's a very imbalanced position. It's lots of small little things, but it's hard to imagine this position fizzling out to a quick draw, as Anish Giri might have been planning on before, at least according to his tournament strategy thus far. So Magnus, well, he's in creative mood, and he tries to strike out. He tries to break.
Oh,
opening
he
up
breaks.
diagonals.
That's a big moment, right, in this game. It can lead to a lot of exchanges, and maybe Anish can even stop that trade, and he can push his pawn forward. So there are many options here.
Many options. It's all about timing in chess. Often you know your plans, you know your opponent's plans, but you try and cut across your opponent's plans. Magnus is clearly thinking that he's ready, but I'm skeptical. The black pieces look so passive. The win probability bar, though, does say it's 50-50 now, so Magnus might well be justified. Bishops, they love open diagonals.
Yeah,
so
he's opened this up completely here. And David, look at the poll question and the result to it. Can SG bring an end to PBG's 100% record? And 46% people think yes, 54% think no. Guys, you can also go and vote on this website, that fans.globalchessleague.com.
yeah, wow, that is very close. It's getting even closer now, up to 47%. It's unclear who the favorite is in this match. Two of the favorites, at least on paper, rating favorites, these two teams. And, okay, one set of trades. A couple of pawns have disappeared from the board. Magnus looks quite relaxed. I've got to say, clock's being roughly level as well. Magnus, it feels like he's escaped this opening in decent shape.
He's happy now. You can see him taking a sip of water. I have this thing about these players, David, correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever they pick up their bottle of water, they have some kind of an assessment in their mind. Oh, I'm winning. Oh, I'm now comfortable. Something on those lines.
100% agree, Sagar. I've been lucky enough to play most of these players throughout my career, and there's a clear pattern. Either they're very nervous and they're trying to hide their nerves by fiddling with a piece with water, or they're extremely confident. And Magnus taking a sip of water, that's a real boss move. And, okay, it looks like this is a critical moment with pawns about to disappear, lines about to open up, and Giri likely to take a long thought.
Yes.
So maybe we step out.
Board two. Yes, let's go to the game between Nodirbek Abdusataro and Pragnananda. Two of the most amazing talents in the world of chess right now. And the queens have come off the board. It seems like this position is roundabout even, but from the look of Nodirbek, you can see that he feels it's a small edge for him and he's going to massage it.
Exactly. We say a small edge. That normally means you are the side with more plans, or you are the side with a little bit of pressure on your opponent's position. If we talk about what's changed here, of course the queens are off the board, so this is almost the endgame now. But it's all about the piece configuration here. White has two knights. It's a relatively blocked position. The knights can hop around. King side, queen side, whatever side. They can start jumping. Black start square bishop, a bit of a passive piece. Also, it's the pawn structure. You mentioned those doubled pawns in the Giri game, Saga. We see a mirror image here almost. I'm loving those circuits for the knights, those arrows. But black's pawns are less fluid than white's. White controls the center, so tiny advantage for Abdusataro.
Very small, and we can see the win probability bar showing that 57% for Nodirbek and 43% for Prague. We also have the points table on our screen, and there you see PBG Alaskan Knights right at the top with 12 match points, winning all their matches, and Alpine Sg Pipers at number 3 position. If they win this, they will be able to move up the table.
They will, and also Alpine Sg Pipers have played one match fewer. So a win here, if they win their match in hand, they might catch the Alaskan Knights on match points. This is all important. If the Alaskan Knights win this, they know they're almost there. They're almost in those top
They
two.
would have beaten all the teams then in the first half. So moving on from this game, we go to the third board with Mamedyarov and Richard Rapport here. And these two are completely crazy players. They like to set the board on fire. But this time, the queens are already exchanged.
Wow, the queens are off the board in this one as well. I was excited, especially about this match, Saga, this clash between two firebrands. Whenever Mamajarov plays, it's often just chaotic, messy, but beautiful at the same time. And Rapport, there's been a harmony to his play so far this event. We should also mention the two top scorers, at least joint top scorers, for their respective teams.
They have been unbeaten on board number 3. So actually, this is like a showdown between two of the best players on that board. And I think both want to win.
Both want to win. That's just how they play chess. They want to win. And we see the poll now is 50-50, just as this position is. It looks very balanced. Richard Rapport trying to break out in the center. A small nugget here, Saga. Richard Rapport here playing on the black side of this position. Once I played against him, he used this exact setup with white against me. So he is vastly experienced in this
on both sides.
Both sides.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's one of the strategies that these players use. If they are familiar with one opening, they use it with other piece as well, like the other color. And yeah, this is looking quite good for black. Has equalized out of the opening.
Yeah, it looks like black has fully equalized. He's trying to explode the center now. His pieces do look ready. And Mamajarov, you can see his body language not too optimistic, not too positive right now, despite the fact he's been in great form. He looks like he might be neutralized in this game. A draw, the most likely.
Right, and David, let's move on to the board of Nihal Sarin, because this youngster needs to be stopped by the Alpine Sg Pipers. He is just very strong. And he's showing it in this game as well. He's having a very small edge with white. Would you say so? Or do you think that black has equalized? What's your feeling here?
Ooh, I would actually really like white's position if there weren't a pawn on the h4 square. It looks like a bit of a sore thumb there, just sticking out. A bit uncomfortable. The white king not really liking the fact that one of its key pawns, its key shelter, has kind of stepped forward there. It all looks balanced again. This is the third board we've seen, Saga, where one side has doubled f-pawns.
Right.
And maybe that's just the one small difference that long-term gives white a bit of hope.
Ooh, we need to jump over to the icon board, David. There has been some big movement here. Unbelievable. Look at Anish Giri there. Look at Magnus Carlsen. Their expressions don't really reveal the full story. But guys, one of them is completely winning. And guess who it is?
It's Magnus Carlsen. We can see from the body language, he leans back. A bit of a shake of the head because I think he's just shocked Magnus right now. Giri has blundered a piece in one move. He's just lost a knight. It's a bit of a trick. It was a hidden trick, but Giri walked straight into it and suddenly, out of nowhere, he can almost resign. Let's show that. Let's do an action replay, Saga, of the action we've just missed.
Right, so the last move that we saw was black taking back the pawn here. And Anish moved his rook to attack the bishop here. And then the bishop took here, the knight was taken back, pawn takes, and here the queens had to be traded. Somehow that would have kept the position around even, but he took here. And unbelievable blunder here for this level. Simply rook takes knight, David.
Rook takes knight, and the white queen is caught in two minds, but no matter what she decides to do, if she trades queens, black will recapture. We'll see a trade of rooks. Black will be left with an extra knight at the very end. Okay, he does go for that option. If the white queen had stepped aside, taking the black rook, the black queen would have snacked on the white rook. Yeah. And again, black would have had an extra piece.
Then this one was hanging here. So that's... Oh, he resigns! Wow! That might be the shortest game of this tournament, in a way, like a shortest decisive game. And you can see Magnus must be pleased, but he's showing no emotion there. He also knows that his opponent just lost that through a very, very basic blunder.
Exactly. In chess, the most satisfying victories are when you totally outplay the opponent, you show your superior understanding. This time Magnus frowns, staying calm, because he knows it's early in the event, but also he knows he was a bit fortunate to profit from a moment of blindness by Giri, but that is huge, leading by example. And as you say, Saga, not just the quickest in terms of time, this was over within just a few minutes, but also 22 moves as black.
Yeah.
It's rare to win that quickly.
Huge. And now Magnus will get 4 points for his team. And you know what, David? Now the entire PBG Alaskan Knights team has to play against this deficit, you know, this 4-point lead that their opposing team has. It's never easy.
It's never easy, and extra pressure on those with the white pieces across the board now, those Alaskan Knights, as you mentioned. We'll start to see some crazy risks taking the longer these games go on, because they know that they need to win at least 2 of the remaining boards to compensate for that win by Magnus Carlsen with the black side. And here we see board 5, one of the women's boards, Saga. Kashinskaya, we talked about how she might start as the favorite due to her superior form so far this event, but black's attack on the queen side, where the white king currently resides, does look quite scary.
Oh man, the pawns are coming down here. Meanwhile, white does have an open file, but somehow the pieces are not coordinating. This knight here that black has is defending just about everything.
That's right. One of my favorite rhymes in chess, Saga. A knight on f8, there is no mate.
Oh,
and
nice one.
The black king, unlikely to get checkmated while it has its good friend, that black knight, sitting next to it. So right now it looks like one-sided attack.
Yeah.
Still no breakthrough. Still a long, long way to go. But Lagno, a great start to this game for her.
Yeah, it seems like the Alpine Sg Pipers have come in tremendous form in this game. The match, they are like, we need to beat the PBG Alaskan Knights. They're just going all out on all the boards.
That's right. The Knights, they've kind of put themselves out there. They started this event so strongly, but they've made themselves targets. Other teams now so motivated to take down those Alaskan Knights, and it's really showing in today's match so far. As the white knight retreats there preemptively, that knight was about to get attacked. That's what we call prophylaxis in chess, which means you see your opponent's threat coming, you stop it in advance, or you walk away from it in advance. But now more pawns rolling, the pawn storm, and the white king starting to feel the heat.
Right, and well, here Katrina Lagno better, but if there's one player from the PBG Alaskan Knights who's doing well, it's Nihal Sarin on the Prodigy board. You can see that in spite of him having castled, he's using his pawns to soften up the black king side, and you can feel it from Daniel Dardha's expression. He's a bit not so comfortable there.
He's not comfortable at all, and Saga, I'm going to have to admit, I was wrong. I eat my words. That white H-pawn that looked like it was just out of place, sticking out, not coordinating with the rest of White's army. It's acting as a battering ram right now. It's also cleared a square for White Knight to jump to.
Ooh.
And careful, the black pawn structure is so stuck and static that you're going to have to find some really creative ways to defend it later.
Oh my god, this is such a committal decision by Daniel Dardha. He pushed his pawn, Nihal instantly played it back, and I think this has now become a kind of a one-sided play, right?
It's like the board is cut in half almost now that the whole left flank, the queen side, is blocked. The white knight's going to jump forward. Dardha, he's clearing that f8 square. The knight on f8, as we say. The black knight wants to step back and defend his king.
He's going to play that. He's going to play this knight backwards.
He's still solid, but look at that black bishop as well. Just out of play, out of the game.
Yeah, he's played it there. But you know, David, I feel like Nihal is now going to push his king forward and switch his rook down to the H file.
It's coming. I think that's the next step of his plan. First, he mobilizes the white queen. Very natural. The white queen sits nice and pretty on the square, exerting pressure on some of the black pawns. But you're right. The white rooks are the only pieces not contributing right now, the only pieces asleep, as we say. And once they find that open H line, beware the black king.
Yeah, I feel like this game is definitely going the way of PBG Alaskan Knights. And yeah, in that sense, the match is balanced. But for every black win, every win that the Alpine Sg Pipers score, they get 4 points. While there are only 3 points for every white win.
Yeah, I think the Knights now, a lot of their hopes rest on Nihal's young shoulders. And if he can strike, they will start to feel the flow, the momentum back on their side. But of course, they do need another victory. Where is that going to come from, though, Saga? On the other boards, is it going to be Kashinskaya, perhaps? Is it going to be Mamajar of Tanzong Yi? these are the current scores. Only one result on the books, and it was Magnus Carlsen's victory for those who are just joining us.
Right, and David, talking about where is the next win coming there for White, maybe it's this one, because although the position is roundabout even, we did speak about Nodirbek having that very small edge because of his knight. Do you think that Prag will come under pressure here? What do you think?
Ooh, it is uncomfortable. Definitely Prag's position. We see it in the body language. We saw that sip of water. You called it. That is a real giveaway as to what the players are feeling, thinking. Nodirbek had a sip of his drink, and Prag, he's trying to get the energy going. We see him shaking a bit, but his position is very passive, as we say. Black's rook just stepping back there, purely defending a pawn. On the bright side, White has a weakness as well. The White A pawn there, just on that left side of the board. And Bishop versus Knight, it's so blocked that I think this is one occasion where the Knights, the Alaskan Knights, and the White Knights are thriving.
Nice, yeah, the Alaskan Knights here. Nodirbek has to use his knight well here. David, I must tell you a small anecdote that when Pragnananda crossed 2700 approximately a year ago, I asked him, like, who's the player who kind of inspires you to sort of grind down equal endgames? And the name he called out was Nodirbek Abdusataro. He said he's the guy who really who inspired me to keep grinding in equal positions. Today, Nodirbek is doing that to Pragnananda himself.
Wow, that is that's really great inside info there, Saga. And I've got to mention, these two know each other very well. They first met in the World Under-10 Championship.
Oh, yes. Wow, there is a very nice picture of them. Both of them have been playing each other for close to 8 or 9 years now.
That is crazy. So young and so strong at such a young age. Win probability here, 57% for White. I would tend to agree. White's position more comfortable, to say the least, right now. It is a question of how to get to the black pawns here. Maybe the white rooks will double up at some point, start to attack the base of Black's pawn chain. But Prag, he's going to try and dig deep. Maybe not grind a win, but at least to hold the draw for his team.
He has to hold it here. And talking about the Alaskan Knights fighting back, well, Alina Kashlinskaya on board number 5, David, she has gotten a position with which the engines seem to like now.
Wow, it looks like she's suddenly turned things around. Last time we were here, we were saying Black's threats, so scary. But I think Katerina Lagno, who struggled so far in this event, 2 losses, 1 draw, it feels like she was a bit hasty with the attack. She went forward, she gave up a pawn, and yeah, let's do a quick backtrack. She gave up a pawn at this moment.
She gave a pawn up, takes, and then pushed forward, which was maybe not the best move. And that gave away the advantage that Black had. And here, I guess, the last move that Kashlinskaya has played does give Black, again, a good position. So it's swinging back and forth here, David.
It's that type of position. It's a yo-yo, back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, it's all about who gets the enemy king first. Notice how the kings are just on opposite sides of the board. So White is fully focused on going for the king on the king side, while looks like Katerina Lagno, as she's already shown so far in this game, going on an attack on the opposite flank. It's going to be a crazy finish to this game. That's almost guaranteed. I can't see a draw on this board. Saga, it's just such a crazy position.
This one is going to go the distance, but I guess on board number 4 between Tan Zhongyi and Ho Yifan, we have a slightly more stable position. David, is there a chance for any of them to keep pressing here? Who would you prefer?
Ooh, this is a tough call, Saga. I would slightly prefer the white side right now in this position. And maybe we just highlight one pawn. It's the black D pawn, the queen's pawn here, which is stuck. It can never move forward. It's only defended by a piece. You can never defend it with a fellow pawn. And right now, it's a very small thing, but the white queen, white rook are lined up against it. It might be a timing issue when Tan Zhongyi opens up and tries to go for that pawn. Ultimately, though, we could eventually see the position fizzle out. We might see a bunch of exchanges, even if Black loses a pawn. If she's able to trade off all the knights, the queens, go down to a rook endgame, she might hold the draw. I trust Hu Yifan. She's been in this type of position many times, and she's more than capable.
And by the way, we are getting the news that there was a result already on board number 3. Let's have a look at the final moments here between Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Richard Rapport. They repeated there and draw is the result here. I guess there was nothing much to choose between them in that game. Very equal.
Very
battle.
equal, Saga. I fully agree. And these, as we mentioned, two of the top scorers for their respective teams, both on fire at this event so far. But a lot of mutual respect between them. A bit of an anticlimax in the end, but a fair result. And for Richard Rapport, having seen Magnus Carlsen win with Black, bag those 4 points, I think he will be the happier of the two.
Yeah, right. And today, if the PBG Alaskan Knights win this match, David, I would be very, very impressed by them. Because if your top board is going to lose in like 22 moves, and then you still come back and, like, you know, with white pieces, Nihal is going to strike and perhaps then Zhongi is pushing and Nodirbek is pushing. Oh my god, this would be something. Then I would really say, like, this team is unbeatable almost.
Yeah, doing it for the team. It's as if their top board, their icon, collapsed at the bottom of the mountain, but they're picking up Anishgiri on their shoulders now and dragging him the whole way up.
That's such a nice way to put it, David.
Starting with Nihal. Nihal, he might be a small guy, but he's showing big moves on the board.
Yeah, Nihal is actually carrying the burden of the team right now. He's showing his team that, look, 3 points are kind of confirmed on my board. I have all my pieces lined up beautifully. None of Black's pieces are actually doing anything. This is looking very good.
Very good. You still need the breakthrough, though, and already there's so many tempting moves in the air here, Saga. I'm just wondering how White gets the queen into the attack, gets the white bishop in, how White maybe has to sacrifice a knight at some point to open up those white rooks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so much
Nihal is
happening.
enjoying himself. You can look at him there. He's like, okay, let me see. Do I want to chop off this knight? Do I want to kick it away? Many, many good options here.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be an issue, especially with the clock timings. Nihal currently 1 minute ahead, but he might have to burn a lot of that time advantage. He might even fall behind on the clock. He is the one formulating the plan of the breakthrough. And when you have too many tempting moves, I've said it before, often you go astray. You stop trusting your instincts and you get too far down the rabbit hole. Daniel Dardha, if he can survive the next half dozen moves, he might start to get confident.
Right, so a very important few moves for Nihal there. He's not looking at the board. He's calculating in his mind. And I think he's already made up his mind whether to take the knight or to push it away. 78% win probability for White, 22% for Black.
Yeah, I agree that White has the advantage fully. I think we all can see that White's pieces are superior right now to their counterparts. But if there's no knockout blow, that can be deceptive. 78% chance does rely on Nihal finding all the right moves. And if a slow build-up is required, that's not always so natural. So still, not over. I'm not writing off Dardha yet.
Right, and you were talking about this yo-yo game where the position was going back and forth on board number 5 between Alina Kashlinskaya and Katrina Lagno. And more action here. After the last move that happened, it seems like Alina is back in business. What a move by Katrina Lagno, but we are going to have the board here, but look at that focus of Alina.
Yeah, she must be the most focused player so far in the event. Just body language. I've never seen her look at any other board, Saga. She's just fully focused on her own game. And actually, that's a decent way to play team tournaments. Just focus on yourself, get the job done. If you win, you've done your job for the team anyway. And she's up 5 minutes on the clock.
Oh my god, that's a lot of time edge. And her opponent has just plonked her knight here, giving it up. It's a sacrifice. And Alina takes it with the bishop. She could have taken with the pawn. But perhaps it was just too risky, David, because the rook was swinging over. But White had an intermediate move to close the queen here by pushing the pawn.
Wow, this is easy to miss. The white queen attacked. You mentioned it's an intermediate move. Human nature says your queen is attacked, move her. But no, you counter-strike, and once you connect forward with those pawns, you block the position, the white king would have survived. So a missed opportunity for Kashlinskaya. Suddenly, any result possible. She's back in it, Lagno.
Yeah, it's as you said, we cannot guess what's going to happen. And look at this. After she sacrificed a knight, now Kashlinskaya's time to sacrifice a knight. Knight comes here, doesn't pick it up, pawn pushed forward. What is happening in this game?
This is crazy. We're not even caring about the pawn count, the piece count in this game. It's all about the kings. Both of them feeling really vulnerable, really bare right now. And this pawn push is designed to deflect the white queen away. If the white queen captures this pawn, the black queen suddenly has an angle to jump into and land a check. The first check against the white king. She might be ahead slightly in this attacking race.
Yeah, but just one question that I had on my mind is, why can't this knight be simply picked up?
Ooh, the black queen would be vulnerable.
Oh, this is the big problem. It opens up the route to the queen.
Pin along the 6th rank. Most pins are diagonal or vertical up the board. It's rare to see a pin across like that. So very creative from Kaishlinskaya.
Very
but
nice.
Suddenly she's under pressure though. And look at that focus again. A good tip for everyone at home, especially in speed chess. 100% focus gives such great results.
Yeah, and this game is really a battle of very creative moves. And let's go to the board number 2, where the time is running low. Between Pragnananda and Nodirbek Abdusataro, we have a slightly better endgame for Nodirbek, but time-wise, Prag has 3 minutes 30 seconds, Nodirbek has 4 minutes 15 seconds.
Ooh, this one, whether it's decided on board or clock, it does favor Nodirbek right now with the white pieces. Prag under serious pressure. The white knight's taking a step back in order to go forward. The white knight will aim to step forward, defending a pawn, and maybe freeing up the white rook. But look at this, king of the hill, the king leading by example in front of the rest of its army. The black king centralized, slightly vulnerable to checks.
Has to be careful, because there you have it. He goes back. He's like, let me not risk it. And the knight is coming in. You know, the knight can work on both color complexes here, while the bishop can only move on one. And that seems to give Nodirbek a very big edge.
Ooh, the black king really beating a retreat here, stepping back for the 2nd time in a row. There are tricks in the position. The white knight needs to jump forward somewhere, but for now, controlled by the black pawns. And I wouldn't be surprised if the white... Wow, knight into b5.
Wow, this just reminds me of the Kaishlinskaya game. And now the knight jumps here, pawn takes, rook has taken this. We are into a rook endgame, David. Has Pragnananda's situation improved or become worse?
Ooh, I would have said improved a few moves ago. If he could have taken the bishop off for the knight, a fair trade without damaging the black pawns, it would have been a huge success for black. But it's all about the weaknesses, and black's pawns clearly more vulnerable than white's right now. It's all about whether white can get that rook in the bottom left corner of your screens, the bottom left corner of the board, into the action. If he can, he's going to win this game, Abdusattorov. 62% win chance, according to the probability bar now.
Yeah, Abdusattorov is known for his sort of determination, and he's showing that he doesn't want to draw this game. He wants to fight, but Prag is also defending with great creativity here.
He is. There's a pin along the corner file there. We're going to see a bunch of exchanges. One set of rooks leave the board.
God, this is now a rook endgame, 5 versus 4.
Ooh, 5 versus 4. It's almost all on one same side of the board. The black king not loving life, though. The black king cut off. The question is, can white push forward his pass pawn ever? Right now, white's central pawn, the D pawn, it's all about that. It's kept under lock and key. The black rook standing behind it. He tries to help it forward using the assistance of his own rook, but Prag just waits. This one is so hard to judge, Saga.
Yeah, this one is actually, let's say 60, I mean the win probability says it right. 57% chances for Nodirbek to win, 43% chance for Prag to hold this.
Yeah, we will not see a black win in this game, but we could well see a black draw if Prag is able to frustrate Abdusattorov and not allow the white pawns to continue stepping forward. A question mark given to this last move. Maybe Prag now is able to hold the draw with best play, but still so difficult right now. It's Abdusattorov with 2 extra minutes as well.
He's preparing this break and going now to the board between the two Chinese players, Tan Zhongyi and Ho Yifan. This is looking good for white. The knight is perched beautifully into the camp of black.
Ooh, Hu Yifan here, really struggling on the board. She's not lost. She's a bit worse here. White's knight anchored, as we say, on an outpost. But Tan Zhongyi, can she improve her position? Can she create any threats? That's the big question.
And she's attacking the pawn right in the center of the board. This position can go either way. The match is actually very well balanced right now, with Nodirbek pushing, Nihal pushing. The PBG Alaskan Knights look good, but Katrina Lagno is actually doing quite well for the SG Alpine Pipers.
Oh, this one, it's that yo-yo game again on board 5 right now. I'm not sure where we should go. This time scramble, I can hear the clock being banged across there. And while rook takes pawn, look at those white rooks, Saga.
Yeah, this one is looking like really, really dangerous for Alina Kashlinskaya here. But we need to head over to board number 2 because a big time scramble is coming up here, David. Look at Prag's clock. He has 1 minute 4 seconds, while Abdusattorov has 2 minutes 16 seconds.
Ooh, the downside here for Prag is, of course, the fact that he has no time, only 1 minute, and he's facing a very scary pass pawn. White's pawn so far advanced and about to be joined by a fellow pawn here. On the bright side, there's not that many pieces left, so if he's able to neutralize everything, trade off more pawns, even 55 seconds might be enough. But okay, he's
looks tough. It looks tough here, David, because the pawns are coming forward. The king is going to come in. I think black is in big trouble. And look at Nordirbek there. Now his win probability is 90%.
Yeah, Prag just not quite quick enough. We see a trade of pawns. The black rook jump back. Watch out. And okay, white defends, and the white king is coming.
Yeah, now the pawns have been equalized, but look at the quality of that white pawns. They are so much more advanced.
So much more advanced, and it's all about the clock as well. If white just gets 2 more moves, moves the white rook away, and is able to push another pawn forward. There we go. Huge threats now. The black king almost checkmated.
Exactly. Pawn pushing forward and checkmate coming in. We might see Prag resigning here, and there you have it. He resigns. First win for the PBG. Wow, the team is on really, like, one person loses, the other one rises up.
Yeah, phenomenal. This was a really classy game, we've got to say. Maybe one of the most high-quality victories we've seen the entire event so far. Abdusattorov taking it really smoothly from start to finish. But, of course, there are still 3 games going, and the Alaskan Knights still need another win.
They need another win, but I guess it is coming from Nihal's end. Only thing, Nihal has to be careful about his time. He has 1 minute 58 seconds. Daniel Dardha has 3 minutes 36 seconds on the board.
And on the board right now, black has an extra pawn, but look at the white rooks now infiltrating enemy lines. The black king is checked and either needs to move, dropping a pawn, or the black bishop needs to step back, self-pinning. That's one of the hardest types of moves to play in chess.
This might be really tough for Daniel. The good news for him is that he has more time, but somehow Nihal's moves are very easy. And I think he will be able to manage this with the time he has left.
Yeah, I mean, for Nihal Sarin, who plays so much chess online with just 1 minute on the clock, this is oceans of time, Saga. Especially with a position like this, as you say, easy moves available. The black king, horrible decision for it right now. He will maybe drop his bishop back to block this check. The best move.
Blocks it. Nihal plays his next move, and look at that switch of the bishop. He's coming from the other side there, David. I think Nihal's going to win this. If we can quickly head back to board number 4 between Tan Zhongyi and Ho Yifan, this is where Tan Zhongyi is almost winning. I think she has a mate here.
Checkmate in 1. Queen takes pawn is checkmate.
Oh, it's a mate in 1 and Tan Zhongyi can't see it, or what?
She hasn't spotted it yet.
But why isn't she playing it?
The white queen can take the black pawn across the line.
Oh, she doesn't see it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, but it's still a mate. It's still a mate, and she resigns.
Wow. Checkmate in 1 was possible. She found a way to checkmate in 3 moves. She found a safe way.
Yeah.
Yifan resigning, but wow. Looks like the Knights are indeed turning on the style as they keep doing.
Right, and right now they are in the lead. Let's go and check out this board. Oh, this one looks like a draw for sure. It's just that Alina has such a big time advantage. She might want to flag her opponent here.
Oh, only 14 seconds. It's a drawn position.
Oh, she took a draw.
Wow.
And look at Katrina Lagno. She's like, thank you so much for this nice gesture from you. Let's go to Nihal's board because that's the only game that's pending now. But already it feels like this match is... Oh, 1 second, David. If Daniel wins this, then the Alpine Sg Pipers win. If Nihal wins, then the PBG Alaskan Knights win.
Yeah, white here, Nihal Sarin on the left of your screens, only needs a draw. He's repeating, he's actually winning this position. He's got an extra pawn. He's playing for the win.
He's playing for the win, and I think that's the right decision here. He touched his rook. He doesn't know where to play it. He goes rook g6. He plays it. And a check comes in. He brings his rook back.
Wow, Dardha here might have to flag. Look at that, he looked up at the screen.
Yeah.
He's got 30 extra seconds, Saga, but he's a pawn down. Black has only 3 pawns to white's 4. The maximum Black can hope for is a draw if it weren't for the clock, but he has to keep going for the team. He has to pray for a miracle, a turnaround.
So basically a draw is fine for Nihal as his team then wins it. And that's the reason why Daniel Dardha has to play, and his only hope is to flag his opponent because in the position, he's worse.
He is worse. There's no chance on the board to win, really, barring a miracle. And look at the White King, again, leading from the front. Great endgame strategy from Nihal Sarin. But he's paused, he's stopped, and he's only at 40 seconds now.
Yeah, he has 40 seconds, 1 minute, 21 seconds for Daniel Dardha. He goes in to attack the pawn, but this is not a great move. It's winning for Nihal, but he's actually a bit confused here. He's taking a lot of time, David.
He's clearly nervous, Nihal Sarin. This is the closest anyone has pushed him so far. He checks the Black King back. The White Rook now infiltrating the White Pawn, stepping forward. Clearly winning position for White now. Does he have enough time, though? 28 seconds left on his clock.
Yeah, 28 seconds. The D pawn is just 2 steps away from queening. A check comes. Oh, he comes in with his king. Nihal has his moves ready.
He has his moves ready, though. Daniel Dardha, the Black King, trapped on the back rank. It's the final touches.
Almost a mate.
It's almost checkmate. The Black Bishop needs to give itself up, act as a bit of a savior here for the Black King, but no, Nihal Sarin closes the door on the Black King's escape. Desperation.
Attacks there. Rook goes. Oh, it's a discovered check.
Oh, he's still surviving, though. Nihal getting nervous. He only has a few seconds left. Can he put the finishing touches on? Look at him, Nihal standing up.
Oh, he gets up. What is this?
Wow, the White Bishop closing in.
Check.
Oh, look at the nerves.
His king has fallen. No, he wants to How many? He has just 9 seconds left. Oh my God. This might just turn around. Is Nihal going to lose this?
Could have had a draw earlier. He's going to lose on time, though. Only a few seconds left. 7 seconds for White.
Oh my God.
Wow, some questionable moves here. Pieces flying.
And Daniel Dardha has 17 seconds, 3 seconds for Nihal. He pauses the clock. He does the right thing. He's going to call the arbiter and say, you know, I can't lose this position. But David, what's the arbiter's decision going to be?
I think the arbiter has to admit that the players continue the game. He's trying to claim that he can draw this at will, but Black still has a rook. Black still has a pawn left on the board. Big decision.
Just I'm getting a draw. Okay. You're free for the draw in this position. Yeah. You can go of course.
Oh, a draw is given. What a smart decision there by Nihal Sarin. He had 2 seconds left. He paused the clock, claimed a draw. The arbiter came in and said that you can lose this position. And Daniel said, okay. And they drew. Wow, that end was really something which we don't witness in normal tournaments with increment. David, what are your thoughts about that?
Wow, that was dramatic. That was also critical for the rest of the event. This is the first time we've seen a successful draw claim by a player with no time on the clock. And yeah, essentially, he claimed the draw because he knew that his opponent could never win by normal means. And Black there, Dardha, did have enough pieces to checkmate theoretically, but the arbiters saying, yes, he was only playing for time. That's a huge decision now, Saga. The arbiters playing a key role for the first time this event.
Yeah, they played a key role, and I really have to give it up for the presence of mind that Nihal Sarin showed there. He could have just let the time run, and his team would have lost it. He paused the clock when he had 2 seconds left.
Oh, it's controversial, it's committal. The arbiters, now they've set this precedent. They will be put in similar situations in future for sure. Wow, Nihal Sarin stopping the clock, avoiding that loss of time, winning deservedly the match for his team. But I don't know what Dardha's teammates will be feeling about that, the manager.
Right now, you can see the PBG Alaskan Knights have smiles on their faces. Everyone's happy. Anish, in spite of losing, is doing well. Alina Kashlinskaya is happy. Look at that. Nihal and Daniel Dardha are still talking to each other.
Still chatting about the game. These top players, they're always thirsty for knowledge, always want to learn. But, I mean, how did they calm themselves down so quickly?
Yeah. Well, we have to go through the results now, and we see that right now, Anish Giri lost on the top board in just a few minutes against Magnus Carlsen, but then the PBG Alaskan Knights picked up, and David Nodirbek and Tanjongi scored.
Yeah, the two heroes of the match, Abdusattorov and Tanjongi, they really carried the team there with that comeback, and they maintained their 100% record. So important for the standings.